No matter where I go or how long I stay, I only travel with my carry-on. This way, I never have to wait for my check-in, worry about my baggage getting lost, or drag around unnecessary weight with me during my travels. All of my essentials are reduced down to fit this baggage, and I love that we've found a system to minimize the stress and maximize our travels. With that said, it's much easier said than done. Many of us tend to overpack because we don't know what we'll need at our new destination. We want to bring the comfort of our homes while we're away. But this comes with a price. First, it can be very costly, and the weight can slow us down from the true travel experience. Since I'll be taking a road trip for the next couple of months to go see my parents, I thought I would show you how I pack my carry-on to travel like a minimalist. I decided to surprise my family during their vacation since I haven't seen them for 2 years. If you want to see their reaction, stick around until the end. Okay, let's get started. First, make a list of your necessities. Before I even start packing, I always make a list of the things I absolutely need to bring on my trip. Every trip is different and unique, so there are a few key questions I ask myself. What is the climate like? What activities will I be doing? How long am I going to be away for? What is the day-to-day itinerary like? What documents do I need to bring? Packing can feel overwhelming sometimes, so these questions are a good place to start. This is going to be a long trip for me, so I'm packing my laptop for work, my camera, of course, my running shoes, and a water jug for all the hikes and outdoor activities. Second tip is to coordinate outfits in advance. Coordinating my outfits in advance helps me so much because I can see how many outfits I can come up with. Usually, I'll do laundry in the middle of our trip, so I only pack 5 days worth of clothes. It does not matter if we're gone for 2 weeks or 2 months. For this trip, I'm taking 1 denim, 2 shorts, 5 tank tops, 2 long sleeves, 1 jacket, 1 dress, and 3 different activewear because our trip is centered around lots of hikes. It really helped a lot already having a capsule wardrobe because the colors and styles already go well together, which means it's really easy to mix and match. Since I'll be traveling through multiple states with different climates, I'll just layer my tops for extra warmth if it's needed. My third tip is to use packing cubes. Packing cubes are so helpful to organize the different contents in my bag. I try my best to keep everything in my bag, even at the hotels or Airbnbs, because this makes it so much easier to find everything I need, and I can access it without having to take everything out. I use the big ones for bulkier clothes and small ones for tops, accessories, electronics, pretty much everything else. I also have a different bag for my shoes just to keep them separate from the rest of my clothes. Tip number 4 is fold the heavier items and roll smaller items. To save space in my luggage, I usually fold bulkier items like denim and jackets and roll the smaller ones like delicate clothing, tanks, shirts. I know that folding versus rolling is an ongoing debate amongst the travelers, but I think it's important just to find a combination of what works best for you and being tactical about the order we place the items into our luggage. I like to flat pack the bulkier items on the bottom of the luggage for cushion and use it as a base, place my packing cubes on top, and find a way to wedge my shoes along the sides. By rolling my tanks and tops, I can see all of my choices when I open up my packing cubes, and it's such a great way to avoid the harsh edges that come from folding fabrics like cotton and linen. Tip number 5 is have a separate waterproof bag for liquids. Since I always pack all of my valuables into one luggage, I'm extremely careful about how I separate my liquids. I use this clear TSA-approved waterproof bag for all of our toiletries. It's leak-proof, sturdier than a plastic bag, and I can use it year after year with pretty much the same toiletries. These clear little containers work perfectly fine to refill my daily skincare and hygiene essentials only for the duration of my trip, and I usually tape the edges shut for extra precaution. Tip number 6, wear the bulkiest items and accessories on the plane. To save more room in the bag, I always try to wear the bulkiest items on the plane. Whatever we're wearing doesn't count towards airline weight limit, which is also another benefit. For this trip, we're traveling through the Southwest during the summer months, so luckily we don't have puffy jackets or sweaters, but I wore my hiking shoes to the airport to save room for other items in my luggage. Something I recently learned from my sister is to wear all the jewelry and accessories on the plane so it doesn't get tangled in transit, and this has been so helpful. Tip number 7 is make use of every inch of space. Packing smart means making sure no valuable space goes unused. When I'm traveling during the winter months, I sometimes use compression bags to squeeze more into every inch of usable space because the items tend to be bulkier. But even without these vacuum seal bags, I always try to find space inside water bottles, put bags inside of other bags, fill the edges with scarves, belts, and accessories, and make sure that every space gets filled. It always feels like I'm playing Tetris to find the best way to make everything fit, which is kind of challenging and also kind of fun. Tip number 8 is to travel with less. I know this sounds kind of obvious, but the point of traveling only with a carry-on is not to cram as much as possible, but the main objective is to travel with less. Paring down to only our essentials makes traveling much more enjoyable because we don't have to lug around heavy bags through the airports, train stations, up hills, on cobblestones. This is not just physical weight, but it can also be psychological weight as well. There's so much freedom in being able to pack in 15 minutes, fly light with only carry-on, being able to go wherever the situation takes us. Packing is truly an art, and we're learning that every trip we want to pack even lighter so that we can focus all of our attention to what's right in front of us.